Because I help put out the fire.
It's got a little firefighter badge.
It did 5.
Sticker badge.
Why is it so late today?
3, 2, 1. Roll the open.
Hello and welcome back to Weekend Doubles coverage of Kentucky Derby Preps. Today, it's the San Felipe from Santa Anita. I'm Gerald. That's Nick. How you doing, Nick?
Doing great. Wonderful. Ready to go again.
Yeah, this is ended up being a really good Saturday. I'm enjoying this. We had the Gotham earlier, where Flood Zone won to get in the Derby, and then we had Sovereignty come from behind to win the Fountain of Youth. And now it's the San Felipe, maybe the most important of the three races today, the highly regarded Barnes, along with the highly regarded Rodriguez in journalism. Two of the three are Baffert's. Baffert has another one in Mellencamp, the one. But let me just do the short field here. It's reduced points because there's only 5 entries, so it's only 75 points. 75% of points. It'll be 37.5, 18 3/4, 11 1/4, 7.5, and 3 3/4 points to the first through fifth. The one is Mellencamp, second last time out in a 1 mile maiden special weight at Santa Anita, won by Baeza, who's considered pretty good. Mike Smith rides for Baffert in his first of 3 entries. This one's by Constitution. The 2 is Journalism. Journalism was first last time out in the Los Alamitos Futurity in December. That's a mile of 16th. This is his 2025 debut. Umberto Rispoli rides for Mike McCarthy. The 3 is Barnes, and a lot of people's favorite right now to win the Derby. And that's kind of hard to believe considering this one hasn't even run 2 turns yet. This one was first last time out in the 7 furlong San Vicente Stakes in 122.15. That's an incredible that race is actually, it's not an official Derby prep, but for Southern California circuit, I consider it a Derby prep. That was an amazing victory there after an impressive debut at Churchill Downs. Juan J.J. Hernandez gets the mount for Baffert's second entry. Rodriguez is the 4, second to Citizen Bull last time out in the 1 mile Robert B. Lewis at Santa Anita. Flavian Pratt, who's having a pretty good day, is in the saddle for Baffert's third entry. And the 5 is Smooth Cruisin', 4th last time out in the San Vicente. That one won by Barnes. Before that, a debut winner beating Mellencamp and Journalism in a 6 furlong race at Santa Anita. Ricardo Gonzalez will be aboard Smooth Cruisin'. The 6 Berlin Wall is a scratch. That's why the reduction in points. But who do you like in this one?
It feels like Barnes is the one to beat. He's 1 to 2. Looks like he's going to go off somewhere in that 2 to 5, 1 to 2 type range. So if he's the real deal, which we have no reason to believe he's not, he should win this race kind of easily. I'm going to play against him because I have a money back special, and I've been told, I don't know, a million times by people on television, don't bet a horse at a short price doing something for the first time. And going long for the first time makes me a little bit nervous about Barnes. Having it only be a 5-horse field to make me not that nervous about Barnes going long, and Baffert going long has me not all that worried about him going long. So my play is going to be on Rodriguez just because I think he's going to at least hit a halfway decent trip and probably muck up for second. I think it goes 3, 4, 5 in my trifecta. I have this soft spot for Smooth Cruisin', who, if you watch that San Vicente, just had a terrible start. They say a step slow. It was way worse than a step slow. And he was just off the rail. He was wide, and then he just chased 2 different Bafferts around the track and didn't really do anything. So go back to that first race, and he had a really nice run. He beat Journalism, like you said. He beat Mellencamp at 105 to 1, which is projected to go off at. If you look on ExpressBet, they do show you probables for trifectas. And I thought when I was looking at it earlier, the 4, 3, 5 try is currently paying $161 for 2. So I'm going to play around and put the 5 in third and then kind of make some money that way.
All right. Well, the sheets say Barnes over Rodriguez over journalism, and I thought
Yep.
hard about doing a stone cold $50 try in that order, but I thought, nah, that's just a waste of money if a second and third flip flop. So I am going to go a stone cold, but not as much. I'm going to go Rodriguez over Barnes over journalism, and I have a little bit of a problem with this because I think journalism is really good, and I can't believe I'm playing him in third on this.
Yeah.
But I think Rodriguez may be sneaky good, and with Barnes going 2 turns for the first time, I think this is the angle.
Yeah.
I think Barnes may be better than Rodriguez, but I'm going to say that Barnes is going to be with good competition. I think Barnes will need a race at 2 turns before he's, Derby, top of the Derby chain here. So I'm going to go Rodriguez over Barnes over journalism for $10. And then I'm also going to go journalism over Barnes over Rodriguez for $10.
I like that idea. So the 4-3-2 try is paying 23 for 2, so like 11 to 1. So you'll actually get some halfway decent money with that one. I'm with you. I'm a little bit afraid of this layoff for journalism. He's only been off since December, so it's not like a huge layoff. But he beat 5. It was a 5-horse field. He beat Getaway Car Gaming, who Getaway Car has gone on to Sunland. Gaming hasn't really. Well, he went to Arkansas in the Southwest and ran 5th or something. We haven't seen him since. So I'm going to kind of lean on journalism. Just isn't as good as we thought he was after winning that Los Al Futurity, and basically try and play the Baffords over the long shots, which leaves me not Mellencamp because that's another Baffert. So basically leaves me the 5. So I'm going to go 3-4 over 5.
Well, this really hurts this reduction in points if Barnes does wins, because he's probably going to need another good finish to get in. Whoever wins this race actually is going to probably need another good finish in a race in April to get in the Derby. I hate that this is not a 50-point race now with the only 5 entries. I thought you had to have 5 to get full points, but you have to have more than 5.
You have to have more than 5 gets you 75%. If there was 4, they'd only get 50%. So,
but 100% has to be 6 or more.
6 or more, yeah. So, and I was, I love David Aragona, and he was saying then Baffert should have entered more because he has more that he can enter. Why isn't Gaming in this race? Why isn't Getaway Car? Why did he go to Sunland? Why did the one that ran 2nd last week, why didn't he stay home? Right? Like, you got enough horses.
Why chance it? Why chance it? Throw in another one just in case. I know, but this may end up being a big deal when it comes down to points.
Especially if you run 2nd, right? I mean, because 2nd should be worth 25, and now it's going to be worth 17, I think you said, right? I forget what the numbers were.
Yeah, 37.5 for first, 18 3/4 for second, and 11 1/4 for third.
So, I mean, we'd been at the idea that 20 got you in. I think we're now at the idea that 40 gets you in. So if you run 2nd here, you got to run 2nd again. Whereas if you win, you can run 3rd and probably get yourself in. So, I think it's a big deal, especially if it's a Barnes or Rodriguez that doesn't win. If it is a journalism that wins, that's going to be an interesting talk about where all the Baffords end up after this.
Well, for journalism, if he does win this, he will be in because the 37.5 points will go on top of his 10 that he already has.
Yep.
Or 20. I can't remember. I think he has 10.
I'll double check, but yeah.
Yeah, the Los Al, I believe, was 10.
Yes, it is.
But we'll see what happens here as they go into the gate. My top pick really is Barnes, but I'm playing for value. I'm going with Rodriguez over Barnes over journalism.
And I'm doing basically the same thing, but over the 5. I already forgot his name. Smooth Cruising.
Barnes and Juan Hernandez. Rodriguez will be 2nd to last. Last one to load for the DK horse San Felipe is Smooth Cruising. They're in the gate. And And they're off in the DK Horse San Felipe Stakes. Journalism broke smoothly, and so did Barnes. Barnes takes the lead after just a few jumps. Rodriguez came away in third, smooth cruising, and Mellencamp is at the back of the field. So Barnes is the quickest, and he makes his way over to the rail, opening up 2 lengths. Rodriguez moves into second. Long shot, smooth cruising, trying to be a part of it. Moves up on the outside of him, trying to keep a little bit of pressure on Barnes, who's doing it easily past the 6 furlong pole. Umberto Rispoli has Journalism in fourth, 3.5 lengths off the pace, and Mellencamp is just outside of him. The tempo is reasonable, and it's Barnes in charge. Has it by just under a length over Rodriguez, heading to the half-mile pole in the DK Horse San Felipe Stakes. Smooth cruising.
JJ just looked underneath his legs. He's loaded.
Off the lead, trying to get a little bit closer now. He's just in front of Mellencamp. Into the far turn, it's been all Barnes. He gets a little bit of a nudge and responds. Barnes starts to sprint for
This is going to be a good stretch run.
Stablemate Rodriguez trying to make it interesting in second, and Journalism 4 off the pace in third. They're followed by Smooth Cruisin' and Mellencamp. They're a quarter of a mile from home, and Barnes is widening.
Journalism's winding up.
Swings into action on the outside. These are the two as they come to the 8th pole. Barnes in front.
Look at that. Look at that.
Chasing with determination, getting closer with every stride. And here comes Journalism right on by Barnes. And it will be Journalism striding away powerfully.
Wow.
From the DK Horse San Felipe Stakes. Barnes had to settle for second. Rodriguez a distant third.
I can't see the final time, but it's 142.24. Exactly where you want it to be. Journalism's good.
Whoa.
Journalism's good. I think Barnes is good too. Just needs
the race. Yep.
It's just 2 turns, I think. I think next time will be just as good.
Yeah, I think you're entirely right. And my daughter Nora, who took journalism in last semester, bet $20 on Journalism in the last pool, and so she's live to Journalism for $400 in the Derby. So she'll be very excited when I see her this afternoon.
So Journalism is in the Derby, and
100%.
Yeah, he's in.
And
the Derby.
Barnes is not.
Barnes is not in the Derby, and Rodriguez will need to. They're going to have to split them up if they want him in. They're going to have to split them up next time.
Number 2.
I can't imagine Rodriguez
first.
goes
3
forward. Look how
Barnes
much he got
second,
beat by
Rodriguez
here.
finished third.
I think he'll give him another shot. He needs to. He pressed the pace a little bit too much, I thought. He needs to relax. But
well, he looked like he's being ridden as a shield when the 5 came running up on him. It seemed like Pratt just moved outside and just kind of shielded him from having to take any pressure. And so it feels like Rodriguez took all the pressure on Barnes' behalf, and it didn't seem to make a difference.
well, this is probably the best paying try for me. So Journalism over Barnes over Rodriguez.
Give me 1 second. I'll tell you what it is. Like I say, the beauty of Express Bez, it tells you 234 is a 24.20 for $2, so 12 to 1.
20, so about $120 for $10. Rispoli has he's in the Derby.
Oh yeah,
I know you like Rispoli.
I love Rispoli.
I'm kind of glad it wasn't a Baffert, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Just because a lot of people are anti-Baffert, but I'm not anti-Baffert. But I'm glad to see a better price pay here.
Yep.
And Citizen Bull is good. I think it's official now. Citizen Bull is the top Baffert, unless Barnes changed my mind in the next race. But I think Citizen Bull, as long as he stayed healthy, should probably be the favorite.
Why would Journalism not change your mind?
The stretch wasn't really that impressive to me. I felt like Barnes kind of wore himself out more than Journalism beat him. But I'll wait until the replay here. But yeah. I thought he kind of grinded it out. He didn't blow him away like Sovereignty did earlier, in those big leaps and bounds. But it's hard to say. This is the first time for Journalism racing in over 2 months.
Yep.
So this is almost like a tune-up for journalism. Let's see how good journalism is in the next race. And I imagine he'll stay at home for the Santa Anita Derby. There's nothing to really be afraid of, even if
Right.
Citizen Bull runs in the Santa Anita Derby.
I mean, if I'm Mike McCarthy, I ship him out just to make Baffert run more so he gets more points, right? Because he's already in the Derby. Why not go to Kentucky and say, all right, Baffert, now run against yourself because I'm taking one of the horses out of here since you won't run them to give me full points. I won't run one to give you full points.
Yeah,
Right?
I can see that.
If I'm Mike McCarthy, I'd be very spiteful of Bob Baffert at this point, setting up a race in this way where it's just like, all right, we're going to run 3 of them. I'm going to run them in the best way I can and make sure that my horse wins and your horse has no chance. And journalism got stuck against the rail, stuck behind, and then, crushed him, like made him look silly. I mean, he beat him by a lot.
Well, with that in mind, there's really no reason to run. I mean, if you got to do what's best for the horse. If the horse is most comfortable at home, then I'd run him in the Santa Anita Derby
for sure.
But if you do want to get him out and acclimated to Kentucky, maybe you ship him for a bluegrass or something. He's got options. He's got 47 points. He's in. I think for the most part, you don't worry about Baffert. If Baffert wants to run against you, you run against him.
Yeah, there's certainly that aspect of it. I would just think that since he's, he kind of proved everything he needs to prove in Southern California, and he's never shipped. So it just feels like it'd be a good chance to get him out of Southern California, see how well he does do shipping, see if he can, how he works in Kentucky. I don't know how much Mike McCarthy Mike McCarthy runs enough from Kentucky. It just seems like that would be an option to be like, all right, let's go test out a bigger field, right? Because you're in the Derby. Let's go test out 14 horses.
But do you maybe want to see what you have and run against Citizen Bull? Kind of like an early Derby?
For sure.
I mean wouldn't that be a great Santa Anita Derby?
Oh,
the problem with that is you might have everybody say, I'm not running in this.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be another tiny field.
Yep.
But you stay at home. And I think it would be best for Citizen Bull and journalism to stay at home, regardless of the field size. But
yeah, and I mean, at this point, I feel like they would throw another one in there just to make sure they have a full field. But who knows? They didn't do it this time, so it certainly felt like Baffert thought that Barnes was going to win easily, and they kind of ran him like he was going to win easily. Like, didn't worry about trying to get the lead. It's just like go to the lead and let him run and just go. And if somebody gets in the way, block him out and let him just keep running and see how far he can go. But I am a little curious if Barnes actually wants to go this far, if he's actually more of a one-turn type horse.
Well, we'll see. Baffert will evaluate and make a decision. You could be right. He may take him off the trail. I just think, when you finish third that far behind, actually, let's listen here.
Yeah.
Aaron, and we'll start with you, Umberto. You seemed pretty buoyed when you crossed the wire. You had an inside trip. Can you describe the trip for me?
Look, he break really sharp. I know that he can break sharp, but he's a kind of horse that, for the first furlong, he can break sharp, and after he needs to adjust himself. It's a big boy, and he likes galloping. The trip was perfect. I couldn't ask for anything better. Once I took him out, he pressed the button and, he put the beast mode and he really ran strong. I would say thank you to this man on my right side. He's been supporting me since I came to California. Michael McCarthy, all the barn, Felipe, all the guys in the work with the horse. They make an amazing job. And look, I hope it's just the beginning of a nice and beautiful adventure with him.
Do you have a spot of Derby fever going on yet? How's your temperature?
Look, I had that Derby fever when I won the Santa Anita Derby, and then everybody knows what happened. So I wanted to think step by step about Derby fever. You talk to this gentleman next to me, then he knows much more than me.
Best of luck in the next.
Thank you.
Aaron, how are you feeling?
Gratified, very gratified. Always had a lot of confidence in this horse. Michael's done a spectacular job developing him really methodically. I said before the race, this was a battle. We've got our eye on the war, which is the first Saturday in May. Hopefully, we're not taking anything for granted, but to see him continue to be on this upward trajectory is really special to watch.
You guys have been very patient with him. At any point, did you think we've got to get going? We've got to get going. Time is running out.
No, we just always knew that he had quality and that he would be best around 2 turns. So we debuted him, back in the fall around 1 turn, took some dirt, came running, galloped out really huge, and then we turned around in 3 weeks and ran him 2 turns at Del Mar, and then came back in a month and he won the Los Al Futurity. So he had a lot go on within that 7-8 week time period. Gave him a little time to refresh and regroup, rejuvenate for this campaign, and hopefully this is the start of something beautiful.
Lots to write about here with journalism. Well done.
Thank you.
All right. Well, West Coast horses are back, it seems like.
Yeah, and it's not a Baffert. That's I don't know. That's I mean, I said it before, like I was kind of against journalism. I thought he had not no chance, but I thought he was going to be way up against it, and I was going to play him out of even hitting the trifecta, and he crushed. I mean, that was not really even a race at the end. He won by open length. So I'm interested in what happens with him moving forward, because I mean, he broke well, set his spot, and then he didn't want to. They were like, yeah, we take the lead, we're fine. And then they were far enough back here, right? I mean, he sits 4 or 5 lengths off, it feels like.
Yeah. A little wide. Oh, not really wide.
Yeah, I mean, close enough for the rail, just kind of sitting behind. And then, but this is the part that was interesting.
He's the 2. Yeah, he's the 2.
Yeah. So as the 4 and the 5 kind of go, right? Like this is where the 5 kind of starts moving, and it felt like Rodriguez was blocking for him, right? This feels like the shield where he just keeps riding him out. Yeah. And Rispoli looks like he was smart enough to realize, well, if they hold on and if they start moving, I'll sit here and gobble them up. And if they don't, then I'll move a little bit closer, which he starts moving up here. And he's just sitting in the pocket trip. I mean, 47's fast, but not flying at Santa Anita, right?
No. That's a that's a grade 1 pace, but it's not too fast. They look comfortable, and then they're turning it on here. I want to see how wide he goes. I want to see how wide he goes here. He's pretty close. It's 2 path.
Well, but what's interesting is he went wide knowing that if he went down, that Pratt was going to ride him into the rail and not let him by. See how like Rodriguez almost goes in the rail there?
Yeah.
I mean, Journal is like, I'm not playing this game. I'm going all over. Rispoli just went all the way around him and then didn't even slow when he got to him. He just ran by.
Yeah, that looks more impressive in the replay now that I watched it a second time.
Yeah. I mean, that normally when they get up to him, right, when they get shoulder to shoulder is when the horse that's doing the passing slows just a little bit to kind of see him, right? It always feels like they don't actually get by, and then that one didn't.
They like to run in company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
they like
he
to
likes to run by.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good thing for a racehorse. Okay, well, wow, what a day! 3 good races: Gotham, Fountain of Youth, and the San Felipe. I'd say 2 good races. I don't know what to think of Flood Zone or Floodgate, whatever the heck he is.
Flooded.
Flooded.
So I think. Do you think we saw the Derby winner today?
I think we saw a Derby trifecta horse today.
Okay.
I think journalism could be in the try. I'm worried about Sovereignty, pole position, and trip, because it's hard to come from way back in the Derby. But he's capable with his big strides. He's capable.
Yeah. Well, I was looking after we'd gone off the air with that one. And I wanted to look with you real quick if we have a moment. He wasn't that far back on his second race. So when he that Aqueduct race for Sovereignty back on September 27th, he broke 3rd and ran kind of right with Prater, who ended up winning by a neck. Prater was pointed towards the trail. I don't think he ever came back. I don't think he ever actually I don't think he ever came back at this point. But Prater then goes into the street sense, and he just broke really bad. And that's why he was so far back in the street sense. And so I'm just curious if he doesn't actually need to be that far back. He just had one bad step. And in the race today, he wasn't he got really far back, but didn't have to be far back. You know what I mean? Like maybe he would
Yeah.
be a closer horse.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
Man,
well,
that journalism is good.
yeah, I can't remember if I bet him in pool 2. I think I did, but
I
I'm not
hope you
sure.
did. I remember
Yeah.
you were talking about how much you liked him. So
Yeah.
I hope you did, because that was a 52 to 1. $2 is paying 106 for him. So
52 to 1, you said?
yeah, in pool
So
2.
520? Oh, pool 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Well, what do we got next week?
The Tampa Bay Derby.
Return of John Hancock, possibly?
I heard John Hancock, Chancellor
Owen Almighty?
McPatrick, Owen Almighty should probably be there, I believe. So
Okay.
it sounds like we may have a halfway decent race over there, and at least names that we know. It's only a 50-point race, so it is one that's going to be interesting where they, kind of who decides to show up, because it is not, the 100-pointer. And then the next week after that's the Virginia Derby at Colonial Downs, which normally is a dead week, but this year they have the Virginia Derby filling in. So 2 more 50-point races, and then we're on to the hundreds.
Yeah, Brodier, Owen Almighty, Chancellor McPatrick, Hill Road. Oh, Hill Road. Patch Adams and Prater are probable or possible and probable for the Tampa Bay Derby. I'm curious to see Patch Adams run again, as well as Hill Road. Hill Road could be sneaky good.
I don't believe Hill Road's going, though I could 100% be wrong with that. And I don't think Prater is going, because he has not raced since. And it's entirely possible that they bring him back in March and that's where they decide to run him, but feels a little bit unlikely that Prater shows up. I've also heard that Patch Adams is going not to the Tampa Bay, but maybe going
Maybe
to
Virginia?
Arkansas. Yeah, maybe
Okay.
I think it was Virginia or Arkansas.
Virginia Derby is what, Colonial Downs? Is that what it
Colonial
is?
Downs, yeah. So they're doing a 3-day meet where it's basically Virginia Derby. So they're throwing, I think it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but it could be Thursday through Sunday. And Travis Stone's going to be the announcer, so that'll be fun.
Oh, okay. Well, journalism wins the San Felipe. He's in the Derby with 47.5 points. Flood zone or flooded, whatever
Flood
the heck
zone,
that one
yep.
is. He's in the Derby if he wants to be. And then the Fountain of Youth winner,
Sovereignty
is in the Derby with 50 points. So
I think he has more, doesn't? Because he won.
Yeah, I think he has 10 points. So he might have 60 now.
Yep.
Okay.
He has 60 now.
All right. Well, hell of a day today. I love it. And we had a couple of winners in here. That always makes it better. And you have some money in your account left, so that's always good.
I don't. I have to go fill it up. Gotta go beg my children for some money.
All right. Well, that's it for Weekend Double. Join us again next weekend for another Derby prep. Every weekend, just about, we'll have a Derby prep here covered. We'll be covering it here on YouTube. So stay tuned. Thanks again, Nick. We'll see you guys later.
Yep.